Robin.
Busy show. We got David Attell in the studio. He's playing Governors tomorrow night in Levittown.
Yes.
That's a great club, man. 516-731-3358. Anthony Cumia will be at the show.
Yes.
David Attell, one of the greatest stand-ups of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Not recently, but I'm going to ramp it up for the holidays.
As a person, fairly despicable.
Wait.
But a great comic.
Wait.
And today's
Really? Really? I'm sorry, I'm a girl in a movie. Really?
That's going to leave a mark.
today's a big day for Otto, from Otto and George, who's on the phone line.
Oh,
Otto!
wow, it is a holiday.
Otto!
Fellas, how are you?
How are you? Big Roast TV today.
What, buddy?
I said hello, Dave.
Hey, how are you, Otto?
I'm doing good. I'm actually playing down the road at the brokerage.
Oh, great.
Same night as you, so if you guys want to do a double, go see Dave at 8 and me at 10 or whatever.
I think that you should, after your show, you should come over. That would be a treat, dude. If you came over and did you and I, we can do kind of an improv or something. The three-way.
12-hour monologue. It'll be fun.
It'll be good.
I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. I'm going to get up early and shave my girlfriend's pussy because a shaved pussy looks like an uncooked turkey.
That's true.
What type of language is that for the radio show?
So, it's all about me today.
Yes.
Are you nervous about? I twittered your the pigroast.tv and Opie twittered it. Both of us did, and it's premiering today at noon.
Actually, we wanted to get up by noon, but they should go more towards the evening now. It's going to be a good show for Opie and Anthony fans. It's got Jimmy on, it's got Big A, it's got myself. So for an Opie and Anthony fan, this is a must-see. And we worked very hard to make this a good show. And, now I'm just going to enjoy the reactions,
Big A looks so creepy in it, dude. I remember when Big A popped his head in it. He's so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question, dude. How come you have never done like a book? Like all these comics write these, like lame books. Why don't you write one? You've had a very interesting, life and, No?
Yeah, well, I've written down a couple of chapters. I haven't assembled it yet, but I got a million stories for sure. My early part of my career was pretty cool. When I was a street act, I had some good adventures out in the streets of New York.
Well, were you raised an orphan in a shoe factory, and you made the puppet out of shoes? I forget. There's some like a historic story of like how you guys met, the two of you.
George was, I saw him in the cabinet at Louis Cannon's Magic Store.
Okay.
I was working with a Jerry Mahoney doll at the time, and I saved up $350 and purchased my first wooden doll, and that was George. And he looked pretty similar to the one I'm working with today.
I think
Not much of a story.
Here's what I think the real story was.
A
a young Danish Otto with his supple Danish buttocks was being raped by an older gentleman, and as his face was in the pillow, his good eye was looking at a puppet in the window.
Only a puppet can hear you scream. No one can hear a puppet scream.
But I would love to read a book by you. I think
that would be great.
I mean, having John Lennon fucking watch your act and throw $1 to you. I mean, that's like no comic has a story like that.
Yeah, I also had, what's his name, Yul Brynner invite me to a rehearsal of The King and I only knew him from Westworld. I thought that was
Westworld,
a great movie.
That's a great movie.
He busted up my tip on 45th and Broadway every time he'd get out of his limo and go into the Minskoff building. He would ruin my show because everybody saw fucking, Magnificent Seven head over there getting out of the car.
See?
So one time he caught me between shows and I was just sitting on the crate. And he apologized, I'm sorry I busted up your collection. Would you like to go to a rehearsal? I was like, fuck yeah,
don't smoke.
Yeah.
Did you go?
Yes, I'm dead now.
I sat next to his wife and watched his dummy sing his dumb songs.
That is funny. I don't got started on cigarettes.
Yeah.
That's a great. You definitely have to write a book, man, because I don't think any ventriloquist really has.
That's another good story.
Has Jeff Dunham done it yet?
No.
Oh, so you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's about half the population of the U.S. are comics now anyway, so...
All right, well, save some of the bitter for the book jacket. Jesus.
No,
Don't give it all away for free.
Dude, what you could do is this. Here's the book cover. You and George are sitting next to each other, and you're both making the uh-oh eyes, and the book is called I'm With Dummy, and you're both making the thumbs at each other.
That's an awful idea.
I know.
Oh, is that terrible?
Yeah, but the book on tape will be hilarious.
I think I would call it Dirty Puppet. That was the name of my first album.
Yeah, I was thinking that Dirty Puppet would be perfect.
Yeah. So I heard you guys got that Redd Foxx author coming in today.
He's actually here now. He's not in the studio yet, but the book I started, and it's a really fascinating story.
Yeah, I read that book already. It's great. He comes to life in those pages. What a dummy he was.
Oh, really?
Do you know him?
Yeah, he just, the stuff he invested his money in, this guy had an idea about putting fur on the outside of Cadillacs. And you know the way they like fur interiors? He said, we're going to have fur on the outside of the cars. She goes, that way you don't got to wash it, you just brush it. And he gave the guy $1 million. And then somebody said, hey, Red, what happens when it rains? And he went, oh. That's one of the stories in the book. I went, wow, what a dumb black bastard he was.
Did you ever work like out in L.A. like for years and years and years? Or no?
I went out to L.A. when I was 15 to street perform, but the guy I was with got arrested immediately. So we were misinformed that street performing was allowed in Los Angeles. It turns out it's only in Venice Beach, and we were doing it like on Hollywood Boulevard. So the magician I was with got arrested, and I had to bail him out of jail. And then came back to New York. That was my first time in L.A. And then the only other times I was out there was to tape some TV shit.
He must not have been a very good magician.
Was
he
it
couldn't
Chips?
get himself out of jail.
Yeah, no
What's
kidding.
Was it Chips Coney?
What's that?
Yeah, his name was Chris Capehart. Come here, Del. Sorry, my dog's outside. Come here, Del.
How bad do you want to hear a horn and a thumb? Oh, God.
Jimmy's awful, man.
What the
fuck? Wow. Fucking big day for Otto, though.
Not
Pigroast.tv. Yes.
So people go a little later tonight.
A little later today.
Yeah,
right?
they should put a notice on there. We'll be up a little bit later, just in case people go now. But we're going to replay all day. So congrats, man. And we'll talk about it as the show keeps going. And you'll be in soon, of course.
Yes.
Once it airs, you'll be able to see it anytime you go to that website, www.pigroast.tv. Thanks for all your help, guys. Really, Dave. And thanks, Dave.
All right, brother.
No, dude, thank you, man. I'm telling you, the book thing, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm going to get on that. I got a lot of free time.
See you soon, man.
Thank you, fellas.
Bye.
All right,
Otto Petersen.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And Mike Starr is coming in.
Open the door and let him in.
Oh, is he outside?
I have a feeling me and Otto are both going to be fixing a plate down at the mission.
Wow, Mike Starr in studio.
Yes,
All right.
take a seat.
Michael Starr. What's up, sir?
Yeah. How you
Welcome to the
doing?
show.
We're on the air.
Dave Attell, Jim Norton, Opie, Anthony.
Aye.
Black and Blue, the Redd Foxx story.
Are you Michael? I know you're Michael Seth Starr. Is it because Michael Starr is the actor, Mike Starr, or have you always been Michael Seth Starr?
No, you don't have to use a Seth, by the way. That's just the author.
Oh, the other. Okay.
No.
Microphone.
Yeah, I actually know my... We on?
Yeah. Everybody says that. We have to get a
that.
montage of people.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. No, but
No,
I know my
I love
Star,
it.
but no, I'm not. That's not me.
The book is really good. I haven't finished it because I was on the road. But what made you want to write about Fox?
You know, I was actually shocked that nobody had ever written about him before. I mean, you know, he was a huge sitcom star in his time. You know, in the early to mid '70s, and you know, if you've read the book, I mean, he led a very interesting life and was a trailblazer in many respects.
Can we ask him if the Otto story's true? About the fur on the outside of the Cadillacs? Is that in the book?
Yeah. They called it car flocking.
But that was a goof, right?
No, I mean he was. You know, one thing Redd was he was not a good businessman, but that was a real business
idea he had.
I haven't read that yet.
And somebody said, you know, what happens when it rains?
Yeah, and he went, oh, fuck.
Wasn't he the original, like, dirty party tape? like when people like his LP, like people would gather around, like people always say Richard Pryor, but really was Redd Foxx was like the people would get together and like listen to his tapes.
Right, they called them party records.
Party records.
Right, they in 1956 he put out something called Laugh of the Party. And he was just talking about stuff that nobody at that time was talking about, you know, sex and bodily hygiene and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it was...
Wash your ass.
Yeah,
You gotta wash your ass.
You gotta wash your ass, ladies.
I just saw a clip of him on. I've been watching Redd Foxx clips all week, and he was just talking. It was a recent stand-up one from later in his life. He was just talking about midgets and how he just hated them, and he just said the midget said something. He's like, "Get away from me, you little short motherfucker," and I'm like, "What a funny guy!" Just to say, "Get away from me, you little short motherfucker." What a funny, basic thing to say about a midget.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
it
great.
probably wouldn't go over well in today's climate. But
that's true.
No, I give it a whirl.
But I think he would do it anyway.
That might have been the other word from earlier, by the way.
Midget, you know what? We were trying to find PC words that we're banning in the country, and right, we had
little
three.
person. Right.
Yeah. Little person. That's right.
I've got a whole thing.
We
on that.
say kickable.
Kickable, yeah. So, what made you? No one had written about Redd.
I call them bunts.
There you go. Yeah, nobody had written about him, and you know, I mean, I'm 50, so I remember when Sanford and Son was on the first time. It was a huge show, and he was a huge star. Kind of, you know, once he left, he went to ABC. He signed this mega deal to host a variety show, you know, for over $1 million a year, and was never quite able to recapture the TV success. So he tried. They brought Sanford back actually in like I think it was 1980 in a show called Sanford Without the Sun.
Oh.
It was him and like a white
Lamont,
You remember that one, Ed?
Yeah.
big white redneck guy.
Oh, right.
Cal, yeah.
Cal. Fuck.
Cal.
That didn't work.
Yeah,
out
it didn't
very
work. And then they brought him back as like a newspaper. He owned a newsstand in New York. And that didn't work. And then they brought him back for another sitcom. That didn't work. And then the last one, the Royal Families, he died on the set.
What was the story?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's an interesting story too about how it's in the beginning of the book where he's being interviewed by Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And he had kind of fallen so far by that point, where there was some guy just came up and interrupted his interview. I mean, he's on set, Redd. Like,
Yeah, exactly. You know, he was. You know, he had a reputation for acting up on the. He was a pain in the ass, basically.
Yeah.
As
He's a
other
party guy,
sitcoms.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, like he would mounds of coke and just
Yeah.
like on set,
Yep.
and that was
Yep.
his thing, which I always thought was like so cool that like he would do bumps and then go out and like Lamont, you know,
Yeah.
Esther.
He wore a little spoon around his neck. He was snorting coke at the Sanford at the table readings. It's,
Jeez.
was he really?
yeah. There's quotes of the people telling me that. You know, his co-stars.
Wow, damn, that's hardcore.
Here's something that I always like, because I used to love like just like everything about him, because I always thought he was like the most dangerous comic, like, you know, of his era.
Right.
Like, no, he's really unknown as a comic, just as like that character. But during the 40s, to get out of World War II, he ate soap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To be crazy, whatever, to get out of
heart
Right.
palpitations.
the
Yeah, heart
draft.
palpitations, right.
Yeah.
And it was,
And that became like a recurring theme with him.
yeah, the heart. That's
Yeah.
right. You know, and when he had the fatal heart attack on the set, they thought he was joking around. You know, he clutched his chest. It's like, oh, come on, Redd, get up. You know, quit fooling around. You
How
know?
old was he?
Jeez.
68.
That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. He was, yeah, I mean, he wasn't even 50 when they started Sanford and Son. People always think of him as this old guy.
Yeah,
with
old guy. Yeah.
But you know, they grayed up his hair, and he had the
wow,
the bow-legged shuffle, which he used, and that kind of thing.
He's only 68.
And he was so instrumental in like getting Pryor started. Like when Richard left the clean circuit and walked off stage at the Aladdin, he would do all the black clubs and Redd Foxx's club. And he did
Redd's
Pryor
Place,
Goes Fox Hunting was an old Richard album, and I
Right.
think he gave Redd Foxx a lot of credit for helping him really like go through that metamorphosis.
He did. He hung out a lot at Redd's Comedy Club, which was called Redd's Place on La Cienega in L.A., and he cut some albums there. I think 2 or 3 albums Richard Pryor did.
Probably with the old Laugh Records when he was on Laugh Records.
Yeah. And they hung out a lot, and I think he looked at Redd as a mentor of sorts, yeah.
I love reading about these guys. Like I've known about him in the Malcolm X connection, which is my favorite part of it because it's just such an unlikely pairing of people you wouldn't think. But I love reading about what the criminal shit they did in New York in the 40s, and
it was a real gangster.
It's really, yeah, man. It's great to read about these guys that became these amazing comedians.
And you were saying earlier that Malcolm X went really bad, and I want to know a little more about that. It was the crossroads for Redd Foxx. He decided to bail on Malcolm X at that point.
Well, yeah,
right?
I think it wrecked their friendship where they were just selling pot together and getting into
they were
fights.
selling suits off of rooftops and that sort of, anything to make a buck.
But
I
then
think,
Malcolm X said, "Fuck this, I'm going even harder."
yeah, pretty much. And Redd was never a political guy. You know, he wasn't into politics, and Malcolm X was sort of heading in that direction. He was still known as Malcolm Little back then, and then he eventually went to jail. For 8 or 9 years, I think.
Yeah, I thought he did 6. I could be wrong. He did it for.
I don't know.
For burglar. Yeah,
I don't remember. But but they sort of broke off after 2 or 3 years of pretty close friendship. They worked together at a place called Jimmy's Chicken Shack in Harlem.
And I had know X mentioned him in his biography, but I didn't know that they were that close. I thought it was literally they had done a quick gig together. I didn't realize they actually ran together in the streets.
Yeah, no, they were very close friends and kept in touch sort of afterwards. I mean, there's a picture in the book of Redd going to meet. Then he was known as Malcolm X. Then sort of reuniting in the early '60s in Harlem at a restaurant. But they didn't really keep in touch. Actually, when Malcolm X was assassinated, some people went to Redd and said, what do you think? All that kind of thing. But once their friendship broke up from the Harlem days, it was never really that close.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard when you're doing gigs and being a dirty comic, and a guy is preaching the word about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
It's difficult to find a fucking middle ground there that you can agree on.
What an odd couple.
That would have been a great play. When did Redd get into the drugs? 'Cause I haven't gotten into that part of the book yet. When did he start getting? It was just pot at those days.
It was pot. It was mostly pot in the 40s. I mean, he walked in on some people who were doing the harder stuff, and he saw a couple of his friends had died from ODing, and he said, "That's not for me." He tried heroin once when he went back to St. Louis, which is where he was from, and he didn't care for it. It was mostly pot, and I think in the 50s and especially in the early to mid 60s, the cocaine habit really kicked in, and then. It was just as somebody in the book says, it was just sort of part of his daily routine. Like, we have a cup of coffee. He has, they used to cut his cocaine to make it less strong
without him knowing
it. So, but he would just do it. And as you said before, Jim, I mean, he was very open about it on the set, and it was just part of the routine.
Now he owed the IRS a lot of money when he died. Was it because of the drugs, or bad business deals? Obviously,
like combination. Bad business deals. Didn't pay his taxes because he just said, "Fuck it, I'm not paying my taxes." And actually, there's a line. One of his favorite lines. He said, "I'll pay my taxes when there's a black president." And I guess he'd be paying his taxes.
Oh boy!
But he owed over $3 million when he passed away, and had just made a deal to start paying it back when he had the big one. As somebody said, listen, he got away with it. He didn't. Yeah. He checked out, didn't have to pay his taxes.
Did he ever have any kids?
Yeah, I was going
to. No, he had no kids. He had his second wife. Her name was Jean. He adopted her daughter. Her name is Deborah, because they're both still alive and they're still around, but no biological kids that we know of his own.
And it's fun. The part you talked about too with the heroin, when he found his friends dead. He was doing, I think, nightclub gigs and doing a little MC work, and he was kind of singing, and he was working a gig, and they asked him to come back and get high, and he goes, after my set. So literally, if he had just gone back with them, he would have been dead. He was supposed to get high with those guys.
Yeah, he said he never forgot the way they were laying on the bed with their legs up in the air and stiff from rigor mortis and all that. But so he stayed away from that, from the harder stuff. But it was a very heavy, a regular pot user and cocaine user.
Didn't Murphy try to help him too? Because I know they did Harlem Nights, Pryor Murphy and Redd Foxx, and oh God, who is the woman?
Della Reese.
Right. And didn't Eddie try to help him with his taxes or something?
I think it's a little more of a myth that he did. I mean, he did pay for Redd's funeral, but when Redd when the IRS came and took all his money away, I mean, he actually went on TV and he said, I wish. All it takes is somebody like Eddie Murphy to come forward to help me, and he never did. But he did pay for his funeral, and he did create the sitcom, The Royal Family.
No.
Because he saw that Redd and Della Reese on the set of Harlem Nights, sort of bickering with each other good-naturedly, and he said, there's a sitcom there, and according to the story, I don't know how true it is, he went into his trailer and half hour later came out with a treatment for a sitcom and sold it to
I didn't know that. For Redd.
Yeah, for Redd.
Oh, okay.
For Redd and Della Reese, yeah.
What was the Mike Douglas story, too? Because he was unhappy with his contract at one point, I guess with Sanford Son or something. What was he unhappy with?
Well, the story that was in the press was he wanted a window in his dressing room. That was the thing that everybody played up. And, listen, I work for the Post. I know these things, these are the things you sort of focus on and you play up as the big thing. But, I mean, it was money. He wanted more money. He had done 2 seasons of Sanford and Son. It was, one of the top-rated sitcoms. right behind All in the Sanford and Son and All in the Family kind of went back and forth.
God,
I didn't know it was that big.
out
Wow.
at the
Oh
same
yeah, it was
time.
big. It was big, and he wanted as much money as Carol O'Connor was making on All in the Family. He wasn't getting it.
What were they getting respectively? Do you know?
O'Connor also bickered with the network, which was CBS and Norman Lear, and he was getting, I think, at that time about $25,000 to $30,000 an episode, which was for that time
Sure,
in
very good
'73
money.
was
Like $75,000 now, right?
Right, and Redd was getting, I don't know, 10. So he walked out. Famously, he walked out. He missed about 8 episodes. They moved Whitman Mayo, who was playing Grady, moved into the starring role, and Fred was away visiting relatives in St. Louis at
They
a
always
funeral.
do that, yeah.
Right.
So funny how they do that.
And it was a big deal at the time. And NBC, once Whitman Mayo moved in, NBC made a point to say, hey, the ratings are just as good, Redd. If you don't come back, we'll go on without you. And I think he sort of got the message. And
Wow.
Were they just as
couldn't
good?
have done it
they
without
were.
him.
They were. I don't know if they were exactly as good, but they were pretty good. And he did come back, and he did get a nice raise. And he got the window in the dressing room. He got a golf cart so he could tool around.
Oh, he got the raise though.
He got the raise. Yeah.
Well, Charlie
I'm one-
Sheen, huh?
Yeah.
Or Sheen.
Because I'm wondering if they only watched because they knew he'd be back. If he was off the show, it
No, he
might
was
have
off the
changed.
show
that
for a
would- yeah,
while,
yeah.
and they actually started taping. The next season without him, and then the chronology was he came back and they ended up using like the 3rd episode that he was in as the first
Wow.
episode. It was like one of those things, but yeah, I mean he was going to walk. I mean he threatened to walk, whether or not he was going to give up the gravy train.
How many years did he do?
Yeah, how many years?
6 seasons.
Wow, that's great. I didn't know it was on that long.
I didn't either.
Which
Yeah.
came first? Chico and the Man came before that, or
No, it was Sanford
Freddie?
and Son.
Okay, so Freddie Prinze, that was really only on for 2 years, right? Chico and the Man, or something.
with I think they might have tried to go on without him.
I know, but the
Yeah,
whole
with
idea was
him,
he was the
right,
first guy
right.
of that generation to
Right.
he's 21 years old. He was doing comedy for like 2 years, and he
Exactly.
became this huge. He was
Yeah.
the first real superstar. Or whatever.
It sort of went like All in the Family, Sanford and Son, Chico and the Man,
okay.
and then the rest.
And then
of
just the man.
Yeah. Yeah, then
Shouldn't go
sadness
too
of the man.
right, kind of like Sanford, just
Well,
a man.
the classic story, and I don't know if you know this guy, Mike Rowe, who was not the guy from
Not Dirty Jobs guy?
No, the other guy. He was a comic. He's a comic, and he's also a writer. He's written for Family Guy and Futurama. Very, very funny guy. He does all the impressions, and he knows everything about, all the comics from the 70s and 80s. And he always would tell us the story, which is like a legendary story of Redd Foxx playing Vegas, and he walks out to the music, the Sanford and Son,
Right.
music, and there's 10 people in the audience. There's like 10 motherfucking people.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
doing-
Yeah, right.
And then it walks off, and they do the music, and that's been done. and that's been done in like on The Simpsons, on every other show.
Yeah, true
as like
story.
yeah, that is
True-
true,
true
right?
story,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I mean, he could even when
I'm not doing it justice because Mike could do it in like 5 different,
right with the
music,
and the
with
Redd
accent.
voice.
He's very good. He's really good.
But I mean, Redd was a huge draw in Vegas. Could roll out of bed and make $1 million. I mean, and his act did get raunchier in later years. I mean, it was
Really?
well in the '50s. If you listen to the records now, you're like, big deal. But back then, Eisenhower was president. People weren't talking about going to the bathroom,
Right.
sex and all that kind of stuff. But later on, he just went whole hog, and he just laid it out. He actually never even used profanity in the early days.
Ah,
He
was
would
the
say,
content, right?
thug and sug instead of,
Right.
so
taking the high ground, eh?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
for a little while anyway.
When Pryor talked about, and again, mid-'70s, he talked about, I think it was Nixon being raped in jail, how they would have loved to rape him.
Wow.
But and they said, by now standards, but back in mid-'70s, they talked about the president
pretty
being
fucking
raped.
crazy.
Right.
Black comedian. I mean, it was a big
Right.
deal. And
course.
these guys were ballsy
Yeah.
to
Yep.
go out and do what they did. And I love just hearing just the fucking arrogance of some of these guys in those days. I love the fucking justified arrogance.
But he was never a loved, he was never like a loved comic by the white, he wasn't a crossover guy till he did that TV show.
Right.
Because he, before that, he was really on the Chitlin circuit, on black
Yeah.
clubs only.
Right.
Richard Pryor and those guys who came a little later, they were a crossover, like coffee house kind of guys.
Yeah.
But Redd Foxx never was that guy.
No, not
at all.
until
He
Sanford
played
and Son.
rough dives, honky tonks, juke joints, you know.
Like the Mom's Mabley type gigs.
Yeah.
All those gigs.
Yeah, those definitely.
And LaWanda Page, who played Aunt Esther, was also touring those. She was a friend of his they went to elementary school together, so they knew each other forever.
She wasn't as old as I thought, too. It's funny, I watched a brief stand-up clip of her last night where she walks up and she hikes her skirt up, and she actually had nicer legs than you'd expect. Like, I might have actually fucked Aunt Esther. And she lifts up her skirt and she does a joke about how she's got peanut butter legs. Brown, creamy, easy to spread. Mild now, but she's talking about getting fucked.
Yeah.
And it's funny how the biggest shows back in that time with All in the Family Chicken, they were all ethnic. They all addressed race and the differences between people. And it just is such a nice era for comedy. And now it's just such
now it's to be avoided
garbage.
at all costs.
Avoid it.
Yeah.
Only show a race in an idealized way. Like, we all have friends of all races and we don't notice each other's differences, or if we do, it's. But All in the Family was honest.
Right.
Jefferson's.
Right.
Honest. Even if it's wrong, at least it's honest. Chico and the Man, Sanford and Son.
Fucking Archie Bunker was at a party, and Jefferson was having a fight with his mother. And then Archie just walks over to George and says, "Hey, you shouldn't ought to be talking to your mammy that way." And the woman turns around and she goes, "Who you calling mammy?" It's like fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
You would never see anything like that nowadays.
Nothing.
Now you see a stupid Olive Garden commercial. It's like, "I'm here with my friends," and it's like, there's the black guy, an Asian chick, a white girl, the gay guy.
Right.
It's like, really, you're all hanging out, are you? But bullshit.
No, well, if you look at especially TV in the '60s and black performers, I mean, you had Bill Cosby on I Spy, and Julia with Diane Carroll. That was it. And then along comes this junk guy, with his son in Watts. It was revolutionary.
Flip Wilson.
It was a great
Flip
idea.
Wilson, I forgot that. That's right.
He's another guy who's like nobody ever talks about him, but for a while there he ruled.
He was huge.
That was the first sketch comedy show, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think. Yeah, that was before the Smothers. But no,
that was after. But that was number one too for several years.
Yeah,
the Flip Wilson show was enormous, and he was also a good friend of. He actually credited Redd with getting him his start on the Tonight Show, because Johnny Carson, the story goes, asked Redd if he knew of anybody who was funny, and he said, you got to check out Flip Wilson.
Wow. And didn't he also? He had this like traumatic thing happen in his family where he had to take care of his own kids. He had to raise his own kids.
Flip Wilson.
So yeah, something like that.
I'm not sure about that.
Because he disappeared, and people were like, what happened to him? And then it was like he was raising his kids or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, he's another sad guy. There's a lot of sad stories, man, with these guys, bad endings.
Yeah, because they're not looked out for by people around them. They have bad business deals. Nobody, especially the black acts came up in the fucking 40s and the 50s, man. It's not like it is today. I mean, they came through really bad. It's a tough circuit to work.
And then you got like Redd, all of a sudden he's making $1 million a year, and it's like, whoa, it's just like spending it and not, buying a building, never paying the rent, all that kind of stuff.
He also got famous late, and that was the same thing with Rodney, where they became they hit like in their 50s, whatever.
Right.
So there was a lot of making up for lost time with those guys, because they partied like they were in their 20s. I know that.
Norman Lear too. You talked about, and we had John Amos in, and he had problems with Norman Lear and the writing. And what was
James?
He didn't like the way. What did he say? He goes, whenever there was a problem, just put a chicken hat on JJ. He said that and he told us that he was fired. I didn't know he was fired. I had always thought he quit, but he said he was fired. Was Norman Lear a prick to his talent? I mean, if Carol O'Connor had problems and Redd Foxx and John Amos, I mean, those were some of the biggest guys he had.
Well, I think he was tight-fisted. I mean, Carol O'Connor had contract dispute with him, as did Rob Reiner on All in the Family. Then you had Redd on Sanford and Son. But when Redd was doing Sanford and Son, he was dealing more with Bud Yorkin, who was Lear's partner. And there's a story in the book that that Redd hated Bud Yorkin, and he barred him from the set actually at one time.
I love when
they said he'd break out in a rash every time he heard his voice.
I love when they bar the guy from the set.
That's the greatest.
Yeah, he said he drove up and the guard said, "Sorry, can't get in," even though he was the producer of the show.
Wow.
So I think.
Why did Redd hate him? Did he say?
I think a lot of it was money, and I think he just. Some people you meet and you just don't like them.
Yeah.
The sound of their voice, the way they look, and I think that was how he was with Yorkin.
I think before those Norman Lear shows of the early 70s, the talent on those shows really just kind of were happy to be there, and the studios and producers really had the say. And then I think when they started realizing, hey, we're popular because we're
making you a lot of money.
We're making you money. Then they stepped up and wanted more money, and I don't think the producers and whatnot knew how to deal with that.
I think you're right
at first, because that was really the first time that happened. I mean, really, look at Bewitched. Fucking Darren Stevens said, fuck you, and they said, no, fuck you.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
here's
really.
a new
Bring the other
Darren.
Darren in. Right.
Bring in a new Darren.
Right,
Fuck
right.
you.
How
People will
humiliating.
get used to it.
Right,
We don't
right.
care. What do you think? My mother, the car is about you? It's about the car, asshole.
Yeah.
The money, though, back then was such nothing compared to today's
Yeah,
money, you know? When you think about, like, the 2.5 Men money, you know?
Yeah,
like,
what
that's
Sheen was
crazy.
making when he
Yeah,
left. Yeah,
yeah.
$1,600,000 or whatever it was, $1.5 million
You know.
an episode.
Yeah, when people first started arguing about $1 million an episode, it really got crazy. Like,
Who was the first one to make $1 million an
was
episode?
that? I know.
Was it
Friends,
Seinfeld or was it
I know
before that?
Friends
No, it was
were
before
talking
that.
about
Friends,
that, but it was
It
before
might
that.
have been Tim Allen or Kelsey Grammer.
It was
one of
after Alda and those guys? When
Yeah.
Mash
Oh,
ended.
Yeah, they
okay.
weren't making.
Tim
they weren't
Allen was making
that
$1 million
much.
when he left the
Was
first
that true?
time.
And
Wow.
then Ray, and then I don't know if they were making it per episode, but then there was no really such thing as like a back end back then. I mean, like they get residuals just
Right.
because of the.
But one of the things that Redd fought for in this when he walked out was ownership of the show, which he got, and then
Wow.
lost when he divorced his wife, and she took a lot.
Oh shit!
She took a lot of that
the
money.
ownership of the show.
Well, she took a lot of the money that
the
he
money
got,
that he
right,
made.
Right.
Is she
God
still alive?
damn.
Yeah. Actually, he was married 4 times, and I know his second wife is definitely alive, and he married 2 other women towards the end of his life, and I believe they're still alive.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't find them, so I didn't interview him. For
What was the youth movement, too? Because Pam Adlon's a friend of mine, and she was in one of his sitcoms.
Yeah, she's in the book. Yeah.
And she was good.
Yeah,
And
I interviewed her.
there was when you look at All in the Family, Sanford's, all the shows we just spoke about, they weren't good-looking people. They were very average to below average, regular, relatable, fucking older people. And then she said there was some youth movement that happened where a lot of the older people were pushed out of Hollywood, like the Norman Lears and all these people who had life experience. And then this youth movement came in and they just wrote about things they had watched on TV. And it's like, now it's all good-looking people and attractive people. I want to know what
Right.
happened with that. What is it?
I think some of it has to do with the executives who came to power. I mean, they were younger, and as you said, they pushed a lot of the older guys out. I mean, I like CBS, like towards the end of the '60s, they got rid of all like Green Acres and the Beverly Hillbillies and all that kind of stuff, and they did have All in the Family. But you're right. I mean, there were shows that had people who you wouldn't today. You'd say like, what is this guy doing? It's headlining a sitcom.
Right.
But I think a lot of it has to do with the executives and this. I don't know if it's a myth that the younger people spend more money. I don't know. I mean, younger people usually don't have as much money as older people. So they kind of started to shift the shows and create shows that they remembered from their youth, which was different than, we were used to.
Like MASH. I mean, look at MASH. I mean, Alan Alda's a handsome guy, but none of them are beautiful. I mean,
Right.
Margaret Houlihan we all would have fucked, but
Yeah.
That's,
yeah,
what,
come on.
What about
Mary Tyler Moore back in the day.
Yeah,
she
she
was
was
too
super
good
hot,
though.
yeah.
She was
Yeah.
too goody two shoes. I
Yeah.
kind of liked her more in Ordinary People, and she was just this icy bitch, fucking emasculating Donald Sutherland over his stupid brown socks. Fucking Buck's funeral.
She really was a bitch in that one.
Oh, she's the greatest. Just hated her son that lived. Oh, Mary Richards.
Wasn't Green Acres? Was that like a movie first with what Carrie Fisher's mother, like that, the farmer's daughter kind of thing? How did that come about? Because that's like when you look back on it, it's like some dude like had a nervous breakdown or something, and he's running a farm with a talking pig, and it's like mail order Nazi
Orville.
bride.
Yeah, I don't know
it's
if
like
it
a
was-
weird deal.
It was a weird deal.
Older Nazi bride.
I mean, like, how did they meet again? What was that about? Oh, they like went bankrupt or something, right? Something happened.
Yeah, and right, she wanted to live in the country, and
Oh, okay, yeah.
that kind of, No, she
Yeah.
wanted to live in the city. He wanted to live in the
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
Said it
he
all in
wanted
a
to-
song. I forgot.
Goodbye, city life. And all that.
Yes,
But
yeah.
there were a bunch of those shows at Green Acres and the
Petticoat
Hillbillies.
Junction.
Petticoat Junction, right?
like that
so
too,
they were
yeah.
big in the mid '60s, and CBS, I think, at the end decided that the audience wasn't buying into that. Although I think they still were pretty popular shows.
Did Redd feel like, I know a lot of performers, like John Amos hated the way, again, he said put that hat on JJ.
Right.
Did it bother Redd at all? Some of the
It
stereotyping?
did, actually, yes. And he was instrumental, actually, in bringing in a couple of the black writers in the show. He demanded that they hire a black writer.
Oh, they didn't have any.
They didn't have any the first, I'm going to guess, the first season. And they brought in a guy named Ilunga Adel. His real name was Adele Stevenson. He went to Africa and changed his name. Yeah, it was hardcore. They
Well-
brought him in, and then they hired several more African American writers, and I think that mollified him a little bit. Yeah.
For how maybe stereotypical he felt it was, whenever those cops came to the door,
Yeah.
boy, the white cops, when they
Right.
come to the door,
Right.
hey, laugh. Oh, they're scratching their head with the pistol. Oh, what's going on here? The dumb white cop.
Swanee and Hoppy, yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a show that, at its heart, was about a guy who didn't want his son to leave home. That's what Redd always said. You know, it could be any color. It happened to be, you know, set in a predominantly black cast. But, yeah, there were things he was upset about, and some of the ways some of the women were portrayed. And he spoke out in that in interviews and some of the characters, yeah. But,
what did he say about on Mike Douglas? Did he talk about this stuff, or was it purely contract stuff?
It was mostly contract stuff. But, you know, he had left the show under the guise of being, you know, ill. He had a bad back. He had a bad knee.
That was the network's
right. That's what he said.
Oh, he did.
That's what he said. Yeah, yeah. And then he went on to Mike Douglas. He said, "Well, I'm fine. I just want more money." You know, I'm paraphrasing, but he said it's really about the money.
Did it help him?
He didn't come back for about another month and a half. So I think the network was pretty pissed off when they heard that. But eventually, you know, they had a meeting of the minds.
So he was gone for that's funny.
He was gone for about 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the book, I mean, what I've read, I wish I would have read all of it, but I was doing gigs for the weekend. But what I've read, I loved. It's called The Redd Foxx Story, Black and Blue. It's available, obviously, on Amazon.
Right. Barnes and Noble, all of them.
Bookstores are going away. I mean,
I know.
It's unfortunate.
So fucking weird.
This is, by the way, this book smells so good. I smell books. I'm a fucking creep. I really am. I'm a Sandusky of books. I just can't stop smelling them. This is like a heavy, thick, real biography, and I don't mean thick like you can't get through it. It's, you know, it's only 300 pages. It's a very readable book, but the pages, the quality of the paper is great. It's a fucking book.
Jimmy
I
really
never thought of
loves
that before.
books.
No,
but,
it makes a big deal. So many
Jimmy
of them
loves the book.
that was what first made me really want to read it. Was it just felt so like good to hold it, like it's a real. Look at the quality of that paper. Smell it. Ants smelling it.
Oh yeah. Isn't that
A lot
wonderful?
of pictures.
Your Kindle doesn't smell that way, Jim.
No,
Not at all.
It smells like electronics.
Maybe they could give you stickers that smell like
Scratch and
scratch
sniff.
and sniff, so your
Yeah.
Kindle always smells like a new
Smell
book.
a book.
Kindles
Because you're
do-
obsessed with the smell, Jimmy.
Can they do? Can Kindles do the?
No!
Of course they can. It's a Kindle.
You're right. Fair enough.
What?
No. You're right. I was going to say, can they talk and can Kindles do photos yet or no? And like books have.
I think they can. Yeah.
Kindle's got photos.
Yeah. They got photos. Yeah.
Absolutely, they do.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I had an older model Kindle, and it's funny we're talking about this. I just as of today, the 22nd, my new Kindle will be arriving.
Oh, wow, that under yawn.
Stepping up.
Look at us using some of the 70s timing. Go on, Jimmy.
Well, Michael Starr, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. It was great.
It's a pleasure, man. Come back
Great
and see
stories,
us.
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
There's a lot of pictures. That's
I'm
important.
definitely going to read that
People-
because, I'm like kind of obsessed with him.
Are you really?
Yeah, like I think there's some guys that never get any credit, and like he's definitely one of them because he definitely was like a straight shooter, hard guy. But I think at his heart, like he just saw comedy. Like he was like one of those guys. Like I just get up there and talk, you know, like that kind of guy. And like just his life stuff was that funny. And I mean, whenever you see him act on that show, it doesn't look. He's the only one that looks like he's not acting. He's the only guy. He's like they plant him, and he would just say his lines, and they would just like kind of set him up, and he would say something, and it would be hilarious. So you know, he was just like a really organic, natural dude.
Just a funny guy.
John
man.
Amos. So you keep bringing. Is that who you keep bringing up?
Yes.
Yeah, he was like a theatrically trained.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of those, you know, Alvin Haley, you know, theater.
He's a
dudes.
great actor. He's like a real actor. Yeah, he's,
All right.
he's a real actor.
No need to shower.
I
man.
know, you know
An
what it is.
actor.
I don't take any John Amos shit. We all know that.
All right.
You know, I mean, you want to
Not
disrespect
on my
John
watch.
Amos?
No, I'm not
Exactly.
disrespecting you. I'm just not,
Why can't you
know.
like steak and cheesecake, Dave?
All right.
I like John and I like Red. Why, you like one or the other?
Yeah, just whatever.
I think we're leaving early today.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah, because we're doing
let's get Thanksgiving.
We're going to do a replay of the first Thanksgiving. From
Yeah.
Oh, good, good,
This will
good.
be good.
No, it was really good.
Do you guys all have young voices?
It was
No, we
really
did it
good.
like last week.
Hey
Did it
guys.
last week, yeah.
We did it a couple days ago at the Hard Rock Cafe.
We did a little play. The first Thanksgiving. Yes, it was wonderful.
And we're going to replay it after the break. Trust me, it's worth sticking
gonna
around
be good.
for.
Yes.
plugs?
David Tell's going to be at Governor's tomorrow night.
And also Jim Norton and Seika, Dave's Old Porn, Showtime this Thursday. If you hate your family, make them watch this retro old porn. It's going to be hilarious. This show is really funny.
It's on
The one with
Showtime.
Jim. It's
Yes.
really good.
Showtime.
This Thursday night. And also, you know that Dave and I are doing the Borgata with Artie Lang and Doug Stanhope. And this Friday, Saturday, proud to say I'll be off to the Pocono Brewing Company.
Quaint.
You're doing my last shows ever. I'm gonna close the Saturday Late Show with a fucking bullet through my temple. It's gonna be a real R. Bud Dwyer. Fucking gonna pull out a paper bag. You guys are gonna think I have a prop.
Stay away, people.
Yeah, someone will get hurt.
R. Bud Dwyer, man.
Yeah.
In Florida, right?
Yeah, no, he was in Pennsylvania,
Oh,
Bucks
Pennsylvania?
County, PA. I think Bucks County.
It's one of our
County
favorite
executive or something.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite things
Pulled
ever.
a whoopsie.
On TV, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was on TV.
Pulled a brown paper bag out, and all I wanted, I did an what did I do? Oh, it was after fucking Rick Perry fell apart on TV. How I said R. Bud Dwyer had a better TV appearance, a 0 from the audience. Maybe it's just a 1985 reference. No one gets it.
Some things are timeless, though.
I like the line.
And Michael
Fuck it.
Starr, the Redd Foxx story, and I really do love it. And I'm happy that you
Thanks.
came in.
Thank you. Thanks for
Absolutely.
having me.
And Sam's mom's treats. Thank you.
Yeah, have a
Sam's
cupcake
mom.
if you want. They're phenomenal.
They're amazing, freshly baked. All right.
It's almost time to go home. 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 But you can do what you want to do. Just call me tomorrow, chap.